Right, so here's the pivot table that we created earlier. Now it's nicely formatted. Let's show a few additional techniques you can use in the future when creating pivot tables. If, at some point, the numbers that served as a source for our pivot table change, this wouldn't affect it, and it will continue to display the same figures that it showed when it was created. Pivot tables do not update automatically when their source is updated. This is something that we have to bear in mind every time when we decide to use them. In order to update a pivot table, we have to use the Refresh button that we can see when we right-click on the pivot table. After we click Refresh, the table will update and will start reflecting the changes that were made to its source. All right, having said that, let's look at our pivot table. It provides a breakdown of the volumes that were achieved in the 3 types of stores. What if we wanted to see some additional information? For example, we could be interested in seeing volumes and revenues for 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014. So I'll drag the revenue field and place it in the values area. As you can see, the pivot table was immediately updated. And now it contains volumes and revenues for 4 years. If I would like to see revenues first, I will simply place them above the volume field in the values area, and the pivot table will be updated. This is how we can arrange items within pivot tables. The title row of the table looks a little odd right now, doesn't it? It reads sum of revenue and sum of volume. If we want to change the names, we can do it by selecting one of the cells that contain the title name, right-clicking on it, and then selecting Value Field Settings. And here, we can customize the name of the top row of the table. In this case, I'll change it to Sales. And voila! The name was updated for the entire table. We can do the same thing for volumes. I'll select the cell, right-click on it, then click on Value Field Settings, where I can type a new name. All right, perfect. Our database table contains lots of information. It shows the type of store where a product was sold, a product group category, the firm that produced the product, and so on. What if we wanted to have a pivot table that includes an additional degree of breakdown? Currently, the pivot table contains a breakdown of sales and volumes that were obtained in the various types of stores. And in case we wanted to see which product groups were sold the most, we can simply select the product group field, drag it in the rows area, and place it below type. And now the table shows the product groups that were sold in each of the store types. If I change the order of the 2 parameters, the table will adjust accordingly. The leading parameter becomes product group, and then within it, we have a split of store type. The table was kind of nicer before we made this change, right? Let's reverse it. Okay, this will do it. In our next lesson, we will learn about the getPivotData function and why it is an important one. Thanks for watching.